What goes on, guys? We're back here again with yet another review, and today I am extremely excited to be taking a look at the brand new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse DC Classic Superman. This figure looks pretty awesome. I am not in the boat that this looks perfect, but I'm also not in the boat that it looks terrible, because I know some people are saying that as well, and that's absurd. Here's the barcode if you're looking for it. I found mine at GameStop after a huge debacle. It took me forever to find this, and I feel like it's always the figures that you want the most that are the hardest ones to find. Even if like something's technically harder to find, but you don't want it, you find it before this. You know what I mean? Like I'll find chases and stuff that I don't care about before I find common figures that I really want. But whatever. Now, as suggested in the title, I will be doing a review of this guy, but I will also be showing you how I'm going to customize this to make my ideal perfect Superman. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pop old Clark open. So getting old Supes out of the package. He's pretty awesome. Big fan of this one. So again, I recognize he's not perfect, and I will go over the shortcomings of this guy, but for me, this is probably one of my favorite Supermen, if not my favorite Superman that McFarlane has released. And he will, once I do my modifications, replace the current Superman on my shelf. I have 3 big things that I want to replace. And I'm kind of debating one of them. I don't know. Let's start off with the one point. I actually really like this head sculpt. Like, some people are saying the teeth look weird. I'm like, okay, from certain angles it looks weird, but then other angles, and from afar, that is Superman. Like, that is awesome. That is so awesome. I'm a big fan of how that looks. I'm surprised at how much I like it. I like me a happy Superman, but I also, like, man, I'm going back and forth on if I even want to replace the head, because that was one of the things I was going to do. But this right here, this S, how clean that is, looks great. I don't like this cape, so that is one thing we're going to be doing by the end of this video, so don't worry. It does not have, I don't like the sculpt of it. It's not egregiously bad, but I don't like sculpted capes, and there's no Superman symbol in there. And the other thing is, this is not a classic belt. It would have been really nice if he replaced the belt. Just do this whole same body. I mean, an alternate head, like a serious head, would have been nice. But honestly, leave this whole thing, but they should have changed that. And the other point of contingency, why are the hands so damn big? Personally, it doesn't bother me. I kind of like my superheroes to have big hands, but this is egregious. The boots look fine to me. I know people are like, they're not super classic. I'm fine with it. I really like the sculpt of the legs. This extra seams and stuff don't bother me. It's this color scheme that's working for me. Yeah, I think he looks great. So he does come with a couple accessories. Of course, you know he's going to come with the McFarlane card, so just kind of a generic Superman logo, or bio, I mean. Here is the claw, which I actually need for another figure coming up soon, so you do get the figure stand with this one. I actually like them. I know some people don't. They don't bother me. And then you get 2 sets of also huge hands. You get some clenchy hands and some, like, I guess flying hands, but they're not like super flying hands. I don't know, but they're okay. An alternate head would have been nice. Give these different pants and an alternate head would have been nice, but other than that, it's pretty good. Now, another thing for me is I have not tested this articulation, so the head's going to look up that much. That's pretty good for Superman. Down, pivot side to side, and rotate. Shoulders are going to go out that far. They'll go down. They'll rotate 360. You're going to get a nice little bicep swivel in there. It is a little tight. These elbows are pretty ugly, unfortunately. Not a big fan of them. And then the wrists will swivel and hinge. Careful, though. You might punch yourself in the face. So you do get a diaphragm joint up here that kind of does nothing up top, but the bottom one really does save it. So you get some good pivot. He can arc back for some flight poses. Still can't crunch forward great. Hips go outwards that much, they'll go down. He'll kick forward to about there. Back, I thought he would have more thigh rotation. This side kind of does, but he doesn't really. Double jointed knees that look a hell of a lot better than the elbows. And then the ankles go down, they go up, they'll rotate, they'll pivot, and they have a little toe hinge. So, yeah, it's not great articulation, but I think it's enough for Superman, if that makes sense. Like, you want him in those heroic poses, and for me, he's just going to stand on the shelf, like, doing his Superman thing. So, yeah, I mean, for me, it's not perfect, but it's enough, if that makes sense. He's a little bit of a taller Superman, which was something that was important to me. So here he is next to the NECA Toys King Kong, along with the Jazzwares Fortnite Series 6-inch Peely. Here he is next to the McFarlane Toys Dark Knight Returns Batman, along with the Hasbro Marvel Legends X-Men series Darwin. And then finally, here he is next to the Marvel Legends What If series Zombie Captain America. Now let's get to the fun customizing part. So the first issue I had is This Is Not a Cloth Cape, and I like me a nice cloth cape. So I got this $10 Mego figure online that has the cape. $10 for the whole figure, and it has a wire in it. So what I'm going to try to do is heat up this whole cape, pop that off, and then I'm going to try... What I was going to originally do is see if this neck piece was a separate piece, but it doesn't look like it is. So it looks like the skin's painted on there. So we're just going to try to glue it in here. I don't think it should be too bad. And the cape's a good color and a good size. So let's see how that goes. It wasn't as easy as I had hoped, but I did manage to get the cape off, and it doesn't really matter that these little specks are there. They're going to be covered anyway. So while the glue sets on the cape, the next thing we want to do is pop off these legs here. Sorry, Superman. And then what I'm going to do is grab my other Superman, in which I've been using this one. The reds don't match exactly, but I don't really care. There's one. Come on now. Don't be petty. And there's two. So we'll go ahead and grab the hips. I'm really hoping that this fits. Fuck. Because if it doesn't, then my whole plan sucks. I might have to glue it in there. It's a little bit bigger, but maybe if I get the legs on there, see how that goes. Let me toy around with this and see if I can get that on there. So once everything's all said and done, now that is my Superman. I am pretty damn happy with how this turned out. Again, it is not perfect, but it's one step closer to perfection. So I never realized how stiff the diaper was on the previous Superman. Like, this one's pretty squishy. This one was pretty hard. But once I put the legs in there, it does really hold it in place. These are a little gappy up here, but it doesn't bother me too much. Like, once he's just, like, standing there kind of, like, heroically, like, it definitely has the diaper syndrome, but it's not egregious to me. The cape works perfectly. I'm very happy with how the cape turned out. And usually I mess up with the glue. Nah, not this time. I got that shit in there perfectly. The reds don't match, so we're kind of at 3 or 4 different kinds of reds at this point. Doesn't really bother me too much. And the head actually popped on very nice. The skin tone isn't perfect, but that's the kind of head I want on my Superman. And damn, chill out on me, Supes. Chill out. This John's fire. This John is fire. So, yeah, you can say I'm a happy camper. I have my damn near perfect Superman on my shelf. The only thing that could maybe fix it is if I get a different belt that matches a little bit more and maybe is a little bit bigger, fits the body a little bit more. Let me know if you know which one that is. I may be interested in picking that up if it's cheaper, or I may already have it. I have a couple extra Supermen, and now I have a bunch of Superman parts. The only thing that I didn't get to do that I wanted to was I wanted to change out the hands so that they match the skin tone of the face a little bit more. And these hands are a little smaller. Like, I feel like they're a little bit closer to size, but unfortunately, McFarlane, and these ball pegs, I guess this is in the beginning of the line, these ball pegs aren't shaped, and they're not skin tone. If they were skin tone, I was going to try to pop them out at the ball peg and pop them in there, but unfortunately, we cannot do that, and the pegs are not even close to the same size. So, it's not the end of the world, but looking at what my Superman used to be to what it is now, I'm pretty happy. So, I guess I just have a bunch of extra parts now, so you never know. That shit can always come in handy. So with that being said, I believe that's all I got for today. If you have not already, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Letterboxd. I post a lot on all of those apps, and I have a great time, so I'm sure you will too. But as always, let me know. You copping this Superman? And if so, you can try some mods. See you guys in the next one. Peace.
What goes on, guys? I wanted to hop on here again and thank you all for watching, and to let you know that if the following apps interest you, feel free to follow me on them, as I put the links in the description for you guys. I really appreciate everything you all do for me, so DM me with any questions or thoughts. I'd love to sit and talk with you all. Again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.